This week's featured watch is the Patek Philippe 4947 1A-001, purchased just 12 months ago. The 1A indicates stainless steel with a steel bracelet, and the 001 indicates this is the first variation of that reference model. But I switched it out for a leather strap, and I think it looks better this way. We'll take this out for a late lunch, and as always, get an idea on how this performs and wears in real life. I have nothing to sell or promote, I just enjoy wearing nice watches. I'll just get a sandwich and fries and a drink, but prices on everything here are very reasonable for a casual sit-down restaurant. My New Year's resolution is to cut down on alcohol, at least for the rest of January, and I've been hitting more of the sparkling water, usually with plain ice or a squeeze of lime. This other drink was not quite what I ordered. I meant to order a plain bottle of pomegranate juice, but I received a pomegranate refresher, which is a combination of lemonade, iced tea, and pomegranate juice. But it wasn't bad. The chicken sandwich comes on a soft but toasted bun with just the right amount of toppings, lettuce, pickles, and chipotle mayo. I didn't really notice the chipotle, so the sauce tasted more like plain mayonnaise. The chicken itself was crispy and well seasoned, but I would have preferred a slightly thicker cutlet. The sandwich comes with an order of fries, either small or large, and the small fries were plenty and I couldn't finish them off, so the large order must have been huge. Coated with seasoning and crispy on the outside, nice and fluffy on the inside. The ketchup was too sweet, so I should have asked for a side of chipotle mayo to dip. I finished the whole sandwich but left a few fries, finished the pomegranate drink but took the sparkling water bottle to go. Price after tax but before tip for the sandwich and 2 drinks was $24.38, not bad for a quick lunch. The 4947 wore perfectly. I love the 38mm size that just stays out of the way, and how the leather strap tones it all down. I've been wearing this very frequently over the past few months, actually more often than I expected when I initially purchased it. I read a recent comment about one of my dress watches not being suitable for the weekend, but maybe I'm different from most people. I enjoy wearing a dress watch like this one as a daily, everyday piece. We'll come back to the desktop and take a closer look at what makes this watch so special, and compare it to another equally amazing dress piece. The annual calendar complication was invented by Patek Philippe in 1996, a middle ground between the simple date complication and the much more complex Perpetual calendar. This offered both complexity and complication and everyday practicality. The 4947 series was introduced in 2012 in a variety of precious metals. It wasn't until 2021 that the 4947 was introduced in stainless steel with a 5-link integrated bracelet. It's unusual and rare for them to produce a complications piece in stainless steel, but this allowed for more accessibility due to the lower price point and the increased durability of stainless steel. The steel link bracelet is beautiful and well constructed, but I still had the impression that it was delicate and that I had to be careful with it and not scratch it. And it is very shiny and reflective, so it may attract attention. So for now, I just prefer to wear it on a leather strap. Putting it on a leather strap tones down the watch and for me makes it more comfortable on the wrist. I still have it on this custom black leather strap from Michael Knapp Leather while I wait for my Patek Philippe strap to arrive. The caliber 324 is a workhorse movement for Patek Philippe's mid to high-end complications. Over 300 parts and 34 jewels, a 21-karat gold central rotor, Gyromax balance and Spiromax balance spring, decorated with Côte de Genève on the bridges, perlage on the main plate, and polished chamfers, visible through the exhibition caseback. The movement functions to display the hour, minutes, central seconds, month, day, date, and moon phases. The annual calendar automatically adjusts for the different lengths of each month and requires adjustment only once a year at the beginning of March. The beauty of the dial comes mainly from the unique blue shantung pattern, giving it extra texture and interest, and allows for the intensity of the blue color to change depending on the angle and ambient light. The subdial design is spot on in my opinion, but that brings me to some potential negatives that have been pointed out about this watch. Just for illustration, I'll compare the 4947 to the 5327, but it's not really a fair comparison because the Perpetual calendar is twice the price. Looking at the top two subdials of the 4947, it's been said that they are too close together and crowded compared to the traditional wider positioning of the 5327. And this is because the movement of the 4947 is much smaller in diameter compared to the case, so it does not fill up the case. The 4947 has been criticized for not using a newer, larger movement. In my opinion, this doesn't really bother me at all, and I view it as being a little bit nitpicky. I agree the 5327 subdials look more pleasing, but the 4947 is a different aesthetic, neither good nor bad. Now that I'm talking about it, I just want to point out a few more design features of the 5327. The date indicator is integrated into the bottom subdial, so it doesn't need a separate aperture window for the date, which could tend to break up the symmetry of the dial. The decoration of the moon phase window seems more intricate and beautiful and really complements the rest of the watch. And the elegant Breguet numerals are an upgrade compared to the 4947 numerals, which are not true Breguet style. The rose gold color of the case is a deeply beautiful shade, somewhere between Rolex's yellow gold and Ever Rose gold. The case of the 5327 is much more highly finished, with much more graceful and flowing lines from the bezel to the scallop sides. Both of the movements are very well finished, but I prefer the micro rotor of the 5327, which helps to show off more of the movement and also makes the case thinner. One negative of the 5327, which might be surprising, is that I actually do not prefer the gold deployant clasp that came with it. For some reason, having that extra piece of gold across the bottom of my wrist does not feel comfortable, and the clasp always seems to be off center. I tried switching it around to 180 degrees the other way, but it still feels uncomfortable, and I actually feel like the third-party strap on the 4947 is much more comfortable. But the clasp can be switched out to a pin buckle, which I do plan to do. The second major criticism of the 4947 is that it gets the rap of being a ladies' watch because of the 38mm size and the fact that the reference numbers, starting with 4, are usually designated as ladies' watches. But again, I have to disagree with this. I think the 38mm size is definitely a positive for me, almost the perfect size for my 6.5-inch wrist, and very comfortable. The 5327 is a 39mm watch, but even this 1mm difference makes a big difference in how large the watch appears. And on my wrist, just this extra 1mm is starting to make the 5327 borderline large on my wrist. So I definitely do not view the 4947 as a ladies' watch, and even though it's not as sophisticated as a grand complication, this does nothing to take away from the 4947 as a watch. And because of the size and comfort, the blue color, and the dial design, this watch has been one of my most worn Patek Philippe over the last 12 months. It's been so easy to reach for and very few reasons to take it off. Let me know in the comments, do you feel there were too many compromises made with the 4947, or is it still a great value compared to paying much more for a grand complication? And would you wear it on the original steel bracelet, or a black leather strap, or a navy leather strap? I filmed this video using the Lumix S9, using my new 35mm f1.8 lens for the first time. It's able to capture low light and gives a very shallow depth of field. Let me know if you prefer this camera over my Leica Q3 for these types of videos.